Hey everybody, it's author MD New, and I'm back again to give you some more writing tips. Today we're going to talk about events, basically what you need to know that you didn't even know. So I'm going to give you 10 tips and tricks for planning for local book events. As an author or a writer, you definitely need to consider going to events, especially now that things are opening up again and more events are starting to take place in person. So, with that said, let's jump into my tips and tricks for planning for your next in-person live book event. Number one, this is important. Create a calendar of all the events you want to attend over the year. A lot of book events happen throughout the year, both locally and around your area. So start digging into them and finding out which ones you want to go to. Plan an annual calendar. Why this is important is one, so you can look at your year and say, okay, I've got all these events that I want to go to, and oh, look, this overlaps with this, or hey, that one doesn't work with the holidays or some travel that you're going to do. So you're going to have to find other events to go to, or plan on skipping it. But by having a calendar, it just helps you plan out your year and look at ways of, okay, what's it going to cost me? Do I have to travel? All those types of things. Also, look at non-book events like pride events, cons like sci-fi cons, romance cons, anything where your book genre fits into. Also, things like farmer markets, uh, local fairs, anything like that. Put them on the list, look at them, see if it's worth going to and having a booth. That will really help you out. The second tip I've got for you is, and this is really important, create a checklist. Sit down and just start writing everything that you think you possibly need for the event. Pre-event, during the event, after the event, anything like that. So a lot of these other things that are going to be on my next couple of tips and tricks are going to be things that you'll want to add to your checklist or make sure that you have. Something that's really important, get yourself some business cards or bookmarks or something like that that has your phone number if you want to include that. I don't recommend phone numbers because nobody wants people calling them, but you can have your phone number, you can have your email address, you can have your website, your social media links, all that. That way, it's just something really easy to give folks, to give them and send them on their way. And that way, hey, when they're looking at it later, they find your business card and go, yeah, I remember talking to so and so at this event, and I should check out their books. Something else that's really important, tip number four, is plan for multiple payment types. So you're at your book event, you've got your books, you're ready to sell them, and you need to have cash for to make change. If you have a QR code so people can buy your books directly, Venmo, PayPal, anything like that, make sure you have that all set up ahead of time so you're not fumbling around with it. They're really easy to set up. They're really a great way to do it, and you're going to find that that's the way that people want to pay. I'm finding from my experience this past year, people really like Venmo. They don't really do PayPal so much. They don't really do cash as much. They really like the whole Venmo thing because you just scan a QR code, they pay it, you give them the book, and off you go. The next thing, along with how important it is to take your payments, price your books so it's easy for people to buy. Don't make your books $4.99, $6.37, whatever. Make them in simple incremental. Is that the right word? Correct me down below. Anyways, make your books easy to pay. Are they $5? Are they $10? Are they $15? Are they $20? Are they $25? Keep them like that, or $12 or something like that. I find personally that if I do them in increments of five, it's really easy. It's like you tell people, pay this book is $5, they give you a five. It's great. And that's why you also need to make sure you have change because a lot of people carry around 20s. So, you got to be able to make change for that. Next, when it comes to your books, bring 5 to 10 copies of each of your books. That may not sound like a lot, but it really is. And most importantly, if you have a book series, like I've got my sci fi series, New World, I've currently got 3 books in that series. What I find is that people will buy the first book in the series, especially if I'm new to them, they'll buy that book, and then they won't necessarily buy book 2 or book 3. So in my case, I take the first book in the series, Contact, and I may take 10 copies. Whereas for Conviction and Conspiracy, I may only take 5 copies of those. Not that people aren't interested, it's just people will tend to buy the first book in the series a lot more often than the whole series. And if they buy the whole series, that's even great. That's awesome. So way to go. Next tip, bring some swag. Bring something to give away. Everybody likes free stuff. If you have been anywhere, you know, even for yourself, if somebody's got a pin or something like that, you're going to take it and you're going to keep it. So I find bookmarks are a great giveaway to have for people. It's easy for them to take. They like them, especially if they're readers. Off they go. If you want to spend a little bit more money, you can get little lapel pins, you can get buttons, you can get things like that. And you can even get coffee cups, those types of things. There are a ton of these merchandise companies out there. You just Google one and find one that works for you. If you want them to be located here in the US or in your home country, that's great too. Next up is for your table, you're going to get a basic table. You need to make sure that you've got a tablecloth, a banner, something to cover the table so it looks nice. And if you've got them, bring things to display your books, like display stands or little plastic books holders or something along those lines. That will really help your books to stand out and look good. And it also makes the booth a little bit more interesting. So that's that one. Whatever you've got to, if it's just your tablecloth from home, you don't have to go out and buy anything. Any tablecloth will work. Just something like that, using your own books to create some height and to create stands for your books. That's another way to do it, and it's a good way to display what other books you've got. Um, Now, if you're going to be at your booth and there's going to be a couple of you, let's say 5 or 6 of you decide, hey, let's all go in, chip in, we're going to buy this booth at XYZ Book Fair. Do a schedule. The day is a long day, so if it's there for like an 8-hour shift or 8-hour day, break the shifts down, have 3 people in the booth in the morning, have 3 people there in the afternoon. That way, one, you're not overcrowding the booth. 2, it gives you the possibility to go to the bathroom, get some lunch, get off your feet, relax. And it just makes the booth look a little bit more interesting and alive if there's other people there. What's really important is don't overcrowd your booth. I have been part of and I have seen some book events, some book booths where there's 7, 8, 9 authors in one booth, and it's madness. And it's not very comfortable for anybody. So limit it to 3 or 4 people. Work in shifts. Make sure your morning shift has everything they need to set up the booth. Make sure the afternoon shift or evening shift has everything they need to tear down the booth. If that means that somebody comes back or people come back, come in the morning and then leave to go wander around, that's fine. Or if that means that your morning folks leave the booth and then go wander around and then come back to help pack up, that's great. Don't leave it to one person. Just help each other out. Now, if you're going to be there by yourself, make friends with the people around you. Talk to your neighbors, get to know them a little bit. That way, like I said, if you have to go to the bathroom or you want to get something to eat or something like that, you have that ability. You can tell them, hey, I got to go to the restroom. Can you watch my booth for a minute? I'll be back in 5 minutes. Something like that. That really helps. So that was 10 tips and tricks that I've got for you. Now I have 2 bonus tips because I think that these are things that people don't always think about when they go to book events. They think that it's just going to happen magically. Bonus tip number 1, be prepared to talk to people and smile. I know this isn't easy. I know it's hard and it's a challenge for folks, but trust me, you need to smile and you need to engage with people. You can't sit there and frown or sit behind a laptop or sit behind your phone all day because nobody's going to come talk to you. Think about when you go to a store and you need help. Are you going to go to the sales associate that's behind the cash register looking down, frowning and doing whatever they're doing? Or are you going to go up to the person that's walking around and maybe smiles at you or something like that? You're probably going to go to the person that smiles and engages with you. So think about that as well. Bonus tip number two, and this is the bummer tip, so that's why I wanted to kind of save it for last. Not that I want to end on a low note, but it's a reality check. Be prepared to not sell anything. You're going to go to these events, and there's going to be days where no matter what you do, no one is going to buy a book from you. You're going to spend all this money, all this time, and it's going to be for nothing. But the reality is, it's not for nothing. You went to the event, you got out there, you talked to people, you engaged with people. Maybe somebody from the local newspaper stopped by and chatted with you. So you're creating contacts, you're creating visibility, you're getting out there, you're being seen, your work is being seen. That is value in and of itself. It may not be a book sale for that day, but keep that in mind that you did all these other things, you got out there and you did it. So these are my 10 tips and tricks for events. I also have a full article on this on my blog. It's everything that you need to know about events and all the things that you didn't know. And I go into a lot more detail, all these different things. I go into what you should bring, what you shouldn't bring. It is a very extensive list of tips and tricks. So I will leave that link in the details below. Check it out. And as always, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on social media. You can find me anywhere or you can email me. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help if I can. So, those are my tips and tricks for today. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. See you soon. Bye.